What's going on, y'all? Joseph Morrison, aka Kojo Locs, coming to you with another video. If this is your first time coming here, I just want to let you know that this is a Loc channel where I discuss Loc content. So if you're interested in that, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, definitely share this with a friend. And I know you saw the thumbnail, so you should know that we are talking about ITCHY SCALP. Now, if you're a starter locker or a locker in general, you're either dealing with or you've dealt with ITCHY SCALP. So in today's video, I just wanted to kind of sit back, relax, and we're gonna go full depth discussion about things that we can do to mitigate that issue. Let's talk about why it happens, and ultimately answer the question of what can we do about it. And we can just skip right to that right now, actually. So the answer to that is nothing. So.
What?
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do about the itching. So, all right. Peace and love, y'all. Kojo Locs signing out. Y'all thought you could do something about the itching. That's just crazy. Huh? Well, I should really talk about it? But there isn't really... I mean, yeah, there's stuff, but Alright, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the itching. Okay. And we're back. Alright, I guess we should talk a little bit more in depth about it. Right? That's why you came here. So let's talk about it. So we'll talk about this. We'll go into discussing a few things. First being why itching happens. What is it? Why is that happening? Why is my hair on fire all of a sudden? And I didn't have that issue before I had Locs or started my Loc journey. So we'll definitely get into that. We're going to then get into talking about things that you can use to deal with the itching, whether it be products, oils, nutritional things, just anything in general that we can use to help to deal with the itching, because, I mean, you'll try anything, right? Yeah, I know. So we'll talk about that. And lastly, we'll touch on just kind of things you can't control, and I guess just giving a little bit of an overview on the itching process in general and how it ties into the locking journey. And a little sneak peek, it's kind of inevitable, but we'll get into that towards the end. And that's pretty much it, all right? So that being said, let's start off with why the itching even happens. What's going on up there? So first and foremost, the main reason why the itching is happening just in general is because you're putting your hair and your scalp through a process it's never done before. And what I mean by that more specifically is you're doing things now to your hair and scalp that you typically never did, and you're telling your hair and scalp to start this whole new routine and process. And naturally, when you inflict change into the body, your body responds to that change. And in the case of your scalp, you're gonna have a little bit of itching. And the main reasons of that is because some of the changes that you're making in your process is your washing routine. You're probably washing a lot less than you did before having Locs. So for a lot of lockers, you're washing once a week, once a month, some once every 2 months. And once you're a more mature locker, you're probably washing basically just whenever you feel like you need to, which can be every month, month and a half, right? So naturally, your scalp is used to you washing your hair maybe once a week or a couple times a week. So your scalp is basically saying, what's going on right now? Why am I not being washed, right? So it starts to excrete more oils to try to clean the scalp or figure out what's going on. And in that, elicits a little bit more buildup. And in that increased buildup will cause a little bit of discomfort and itching in the scalp, right? Essentially, that sensation of itching is your body telling you there's something on your scalp that pretty much shouldn't be there. Whether that's dirt or lint or excess oils, all the above apply, hence causing you to feel a little bit more itching in your scalp, right? So essentially, it's just the change that your body's getting used to for why the itching happens. And another factor that we can touch on that kind of goes outside of the locking journey is just nutrition and health. Are you eating a lot of junk foods, a lot of processed foods? Do you work out a lot? Do you work out very infrequently? What type of workouts are you doing? Are you doing things that are causing a lot more sweat? And then with that increased amount of sweat you're doing all the time, if you're not washing your hair a lot, right? You see where I'm going here? A lot more buildup can be caused on the scalp, which can then cause that itching sensation. So essentially, the big breakdown is this locking journey is a whole new thing that your scalp and hair are not used to, hence causing your scalp to feel a little bit itchy, right? So, which takes me to my next point of, well, what things can we do to help to mitigate the itching feeling and just deal with some of the things that this locking journey brings on, right? Now, the things that we do, like washing a lot less frequently and things like that, are things you kind of can't avoid, right? You want this locking process to be the best that it can be, so there's changes that you just have to do and kind of get your scalp to deal with. So a few things that I want you to touch on that you definitely can control are the following. Number one, this is a water bottle.
Nice.
Inside this water bottle, you can hold water, or H2O.
Cool.
Now that H2O is going to help to hydrate not only your body, but your scalp. And it's very important, considering the fact that we are like 60 to 70% water.
Really?
If we're not giving ourselves enough water throughout the day, well, just like any plant, it's going to dry up, right? Your scalp's going to start to get more dry. And with a dry scalp, well, that leads to itching as well. So it's not just if you have a lot of buildup, but if your scalp is very dry, you can imagine, it's just like your skin. If your skin gets very dry, it's going to feel kind of itchy and flaky. And that extra flakiness is going to add to the buildup, which is going to add to more itching. So, you don't want to do that. Also, you want to consider if you are scratching your scalp a lot, you can actually damage your scalp and, put abrasions on your scalp, really start to cut your scalp up, and that's going to lead to a whole bunch of other issues that you don't want to deal with, right? So, it's really important to stay hydrated, and that's just in general. Like, you want to be drinking at least like 3,000 milliliters of water a day, in my opinion. And the best way to do that, honestly, is just as you go through your day, make water the only thing that you drink. Now, sure, if you want to have a glass of wine at dinner or, something like that, or if you just finished a workout, you have a protein shake, that's fine. But, you just want to make sure as you're going through your day that you're drinking a lot of water, and having a water bottle helps that because it's, one tool that you use for one thing, and if you bring it around with you, you'll make sure you always have water by your side. So stay hydrated, y'all. Now, in that same vein, let's get into a little bit of nutrition talk. Now, one of the big reasons and one of the big things that causes buildup as well is an excess amount of sugar or processed foods, which can lead to a buildup of sugar. And having a lot of sugar, as I mentioned, does cause a lot of buildup. So you want to try to minimize the amount of sugar that you're having, whether it's straight up having sweets and chocolates and things like that, or having processed foods, which in a lot of cases turns that food into sugar in the body, right? If you're having things that are not nutritionally dense foods, meaning foods that are packed with healthy, good nutrients, then you're eating foods that are kind of hollow and processed. Hence, there isn't really much nutritional value in it, so the body just turns it into sugar. It's a quick and easy thing to turn it into, and then you digest it that way. So you really want to make sure that you're getting good, healthy foods in your body. You want to make sure that your meals are very colorful, meaning you're getting vegetables in there, healthy meats, organic foods, things that your body responds well to and will allow you to be the best version of yourself. And the most important part about eating nutritious foods towards an itchy scalp is those nutritious foods that you're eating aren't going to have a lot of toxic waste that your body has to produce. Now, yes, you're still going to have bowel movements and stuff like that, but you're not going to have to get rid of so much toxins that are in your food because there aren't any when it comes to healthy foods. And a lot of times your scalp, right? Your scalp is their pores. A part of the job of your pores, like sweat glands and things like that, is to excrete toxins out of the body. So you can imagine if you're eating foods that are a lot more toxic, your body has to excrete a lot more toxins. And if that's happening in your scalp, you're excreting the toxins in your scalp that sits in your hair and causes you to feel really itchy. So really try to get more organic-based foods, nutritionally dense foods, and get a lot of colorful variety in your meals. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, my wife actually is a holistic nutritionist and can help you out with that if you have any questions or you don't really know where to start. So check her stuff out. Her email is melanie.morrisonpt@gmail.com, or just go to Hungry Hungry Elephant on Instagram and she'll give you the whole rundown. Now, back to the topic. Eat healthy and drink lots of water. Now, outside of those two things, a couple of things that we can do is using products that are good for your hair, and they're going to help to mitigate the amount of buildup that's caused in your hair. So as far as products go, you obviously use oils to manage your hair's moisture and things like that. Now, the oils that I think are the best, and this is just from personal experience, I'm sure there's others out there, but I'm not going to mention those today because I haven't personally used them, even though I have read up about them. But the ones that I think are a staple are tea tree oil, peppermint oil, and lavender oil. Those three oils are amazing, and I'll give you a little bit of breakdown. So tea tree oil is the one that really helps to kind of mitigate that itching feeling. It helps to manage the amount of buildup that's kind of caused in the scalp, in the hair. So it really just helps to deal with that itching. The peppermint oil and the lavender, they're both very soothing oils, so they help to kind of relax the scalp, calm the scalp down. Obviously on this locking journey, your scalp is, a little bit, not overstressed, but just it's dealing with the changes that you've brought on in this journey. So these two oils really help to just calm the scalp down, soothe the scalp, and honestly they smell really good too. And they also deliver a lot of other properties as well that are beneficial for your scalp and hair. And then I like to seal all these oils with my sealant, which is jojoba oil. Now jojoba oil I love because it is the oil that's the closest thing to the natural sebum of our scalp, which essentially is your body's naturally produced oils. And it's a very light oil, so you can use it every day or every other day or whenever you see fit. But because it's so light, it's not going to cause a lot of excess buildup. So if you're using it every day, you technically can and not really deal with a lot of excess buildup because of these oils. So the combination of these oils I find to be very effective for me, and I use them every day, every other day, sometimes every third day. And they're a really great way to help to deal with the itching, but also to moisturize your scalp and make sure your scalp is getting a healthy combination of things that's going to help your locking journey continue and prosper in the way that you want it to, right? The last thing I'm going to touch on too that I think is very important is exercise and how important that is. Now I know a lot of lockers and a lot of locticians sometimes will say like you shouldn't work out too much because you don't want to get a lot of sweat buildup in the hair, and I get the train of thought with that. Consider this. Now when you exercise, you're able to sweat of course, but you're circulating blood around the body, you're really helping to move things around in the body and not allowing things to just sit and be stagnant, right? And then that's things in the body and just yourself in general. Now the benefits of that is in doing so, you're going to be excreting toxins out of the body that are in the body. And if we're just sitting around and not doing any movement, you're not really gonna get to excrete those toxins. So a lot of times those toxins, they just sit in the body, they build up, and they can cause a lot of issues. But in particular, with what we're talking about today, that's gonna cause a lot of itching in your scalp. So really getting those toxins out of the body is gonna be very beneficial for you. And the only way to really do that effectively is through exercise. So really making sure to get your exercise, sweat. Like, don't be afraid of sweating. And I understand if you're like a month into your locking journey or 2 months in, you don't want to do anything to ruin your locks, I get it. But you got to work out, you got to stay healthy, and all those things actually help your locks and your hair to grow faster, to grow healthy, and to deliver the necessary nutrients needed to the roots and to the scalp and to the hair. So if you're not working out, you're not really going to deliver those nutrients to your hair as effectively as you should be, which in turn is going to help your locking journey, right? So definitely make sure that you're exercising and sweating and getting all those toxins out. That's going to help to alleviate any buildup that's happening in the body. And I guess the last little bonus point I'll touch on here is washing your hair. Like, a lot of times that extra itchiness that you feel is your body's way of telling you that you need to wash your scalp. Now I get it, you're a starter locker possibly and you don't want to wash your hair yet. That's the tough part. The first 4 months I find is the hardest because it's like you don't want to wash your hair, but your hair is itchy, But washing your hair does benefit your locking process, and because you have to start your locking journey on a clean scalp. So if your thought process is, I'm just gonna not wash my hair and I know my scalp's gonna get dirty, but I'm just gonna let it grow more, that's not a good idea. You're probably better off washing your hair and going back for more frequent retwists to keep the hair together than to not wash your hair at all and let your hair grow in essentially a dirty environment. So washing your hair is definitely beneficial to clean out that excess buildup. And when you clean out that excess buildup, your hair is going to actually be able to receive and retain the moisture of the products you're putting in your hair, and just helps to be cleaner, takes in some fresh oxygen, and just it helps it to thrive and grow a lot more, right? So definitely wash your hair when needed. A lot of times that's just up to you to decide when that is, based on what process you're in or what position you're in your process, or your hair texture and different things like that. Check out my other videos where I talk about hair texture, the washing routines, and all that other stuff to kind of help you determine when you feel like you should wash your hair. But ultimately, yeah, those are the things that I think you can do to help this process and help yourself to kind of get through the itching stage. So the last thing I'm going to touch on really is just the itching is going to happen. Even if you're doing everything correctly, you're working out, you're drinking all your water, all the things that you need to do, you're still going to experience itching. So it's not like you can just get rid of it altogether. So it is something you're going to have to just learn to live with. And the one tip I would say is try your best not to scratch your scalp. My last video I actually talked about that in my bad habits video, and that's one of my bad habits. Like, I scratch my scalp a little more than I should. But try your best not to. And if you're gonna itch your scalp or scratch your scalp, try and use your finger. Try not to use your nail, because that can cause a lot of damage to the actual scalp. But just try your best not to do it. I know it's tough, it's hard, I get it. But just try not to, because you don't want to damage the scalp. And honestly, really just accepting the fact that this is a part of the process, and washing your hair when you need to help to mitigate it if it's getting too difficult for you to deal with is probably going to be your best bet. And just hang in there, you know? It does get better, to be honest, and that's one thing I can say. It does get better. You deal with it a lot easier. Sometimes you don't even notice it, to be honest. You're able to kind of just push through it when you feel it. It passes, it comes and it goes. So, you know, it's just one of those things that's a part of the process. And although you're not going to get rid of it altogether, these are helpful tips that can help you to manage it and just make sure that you're kind of going through the process as best you can with the smoothest sailing possible. All right? And that's really it. Any other lockers out there that have tips, please leave it in the comments below. If you have any other questions more personal to yourself that I can help you with, I'm glad to chat with you. Leave it in the comments below. For everyone else, please feel free to subscribe, share this video with somebody who you think could be helped by this video. And other than that, you know, stay locked, y'all. Stay strong. Don't give up just yet. I know it's itchy, but just keep it rolling, all right? I'll hit you guys up on the next one. Kojo Locs signing out. Peace.